So I want to talk about store-bought subwoofers versus DIY, and I've kind of done this before in the past, but it's been sparking my mind. I have three subwoofers in this really small apartment, and two of them are rather large. One is the Rythmik G25HP dual 15-inch sealed opposed subwoofers. I have plenty of videos on that if you want to see that. I also have a smaller Definitive Technology sub that's also sealed, but it's passive. So it has two passive radiators and then one active driver. That one has monstrous bass as well. But I also have a D.I.Y subwoofer with Parts Express Dayton Audio type parts, the Dayton Ultimax 15. It's also a dual 15 sealed box, and I built it to replicate the G25HP. And my wanting to do this came from the fact that I actually want another G25HP, but back when COVID was a bad thing, the market took a hit and the availability of these subs became really hard to get, and because they were hard to get, the price increased. So that made me wander into the DIY side of things. So I actually ended up building my own Rythmik G25HP. I took inspiration from it, the tuning, the design, the inerts are all from the G25HP, and I managed to build myself a subwoofer that performs very similarly, and I stress similar. You're not gonna match it, but I got really close to the sound signature and the performance level of the G25HP for literally half the cost. And that's what I want to talk about today is store-bought subwoofers versus DIY, or store-bought speakers in general. You can save yourself a lot of money if you piece together your own equipment as far as speakers go. And I do have a playlist of myself DIYing the Rythmik G25HP clone. So if you want to see that, there is a playlist for that. But I saved myself over $1,000 building the box, sourcing out the parts like the drivers, for example, the speaker connections. I saved myself tons of money than I would have buying a second G25HP. Now, ultimately, the G25HP subwoofer is superior. It has the better amplifier, it has the better drivers, it's better built than what I can do personally. But I got really close for half the price and I can't complain. So, me personally, I've been wanting another sub. I want to replace the Definitive Technology sub because it doesn't quite keep up with the other two. And because of that, I've been wanting to get rid of it. And I want to buy another G25HP, but they're like $2,700 versus maybe $1,300 to build what I built. And so I think there is a huge market out there. If you are handy with crafting, with wood, making things, building things, I highly recommend looking into DIY speakers. Now, if you're not aware, if you're not really good with wood and power tools, these manufacturers like Dayton Audio and Parts Express are kind of one and the same. And other companies, they pre-build boxes for you for speakers, for subwoofers, so that you don't have to do it, but you can still pick the drivers that you want. And you can get yourself into some really nice, high-quality audio for less than you think. You may be somebody who has been in home theater or music for a while, and you're thinking, man, I really want this set of speakers. They're really nice, they sound great, but I can't afford them. Well, maybe you can't afford those speakers from the manufacturer, but maybe you can build a replica from a source like Dayton Audio or something Parts Express and build your own replica of them for a price that you can afford. So if you haven't ever ventured in to the DIY market, I highly recommend doing that. Not only can you save money and make a system that sounds similar to a manufacturer's, but you can also customize it to look how you want to. I know that there's a battle between does looks matter in home theater and music. I think that they do. So if you can save yourself some money on parts and build your own speakers, and you can make them look how you want to match your decor, I think that's a win-win. So I built my sub to look exactly like the G25HP. It's white, it's glossy, it's two 15-inch black drivers on each side, the amplifier on the back. I built it to look the same as a G25HP. And you can do the same thing. Maybe you want an SVS PB16 Ultra, or maybe you want the monolith subwoofer. You may want one of those too, but maybe it's out of your price range. Well, go build one. Get a nice driver, same size, have somebody build you a box that's the same spec, and you can have yourself an SVS sub for less than the SVS asking price. So if you haven't ventured into DIY, I highly recommend it. Now, the sound will never be the same. The manufacturer just has a lot more resources, the science behind it, the tools. So at the end of the day, the manufacturer will have the better sound, but it's not night and day. It's not far. And sometimes you may be able to exceed their sound depending on what it is. I've had a lot of people comment and tell me that they built their own system themselves with a workshop they have in the garage, whatever, and they have a better sound for the money than they would have if they spent that same money on something already pre-built, say from SVS or Klipsch or whatever. So if you are tight on money but are handy or know somebody who is, take a look into the market of building your own stuff, because you can find yourself bumping up a tier in audio quality and maybe even the looks department and keeping the costs down. I 100% really like the subwoofer that I built, to the point where now I'm kind of looking into bookshelf speakers. I have a 2-channel desk set up, and I have, Fluence every now and then on the desk, Edifier right now on the desk, so on and so forth. But I've been looking into DIY because I can build my speakers how I want them to sound, make them look how I want them to look, and be as big or small as I desire. So if you haven't ever looked into DIY, I highly recommend at least venturing in, seeing what it's all about, getting some knowledge on it, because you need to look into crossovers, frequency response, blah, blah, blah. There's a little bit into it, but you get a lot out of it. So I just wanted to tell you guys that that with DIY, I've enjoyed it so far. In my car too as well, DIY happens all over the place in car audio, not so much in home audio, but I've enjoyed it in my car. I'm enjoying it in my home. So if you haven't thought about that, I recommend you do that. So to end the video, guys, get down in the comment section and let me know what you guys feel about DIY projects when it comes to home audio, home theater, music systems. What do you guys think about that? Have you done it? Does it sound better? Is it worse? Is it hard to do? Let me know what you guys think. Give us some feedback down below in the comment section, and hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, by the way, 90% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. If that is you, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button, because we have a lot of fun on the channel. We post about 3 times a week, and we do giveaways. Everybody wants to win something, right? So hit that like button, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video. Kpaceguy out. Peace.
Say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.